I found my bank account drained by my sister and her husband who said they needed it more. So I responded, then prepare for what comes next later. None of their excuses could keep them out of prison. And you seriously mad about this? Seth leaned against the fridge, beer in his hand, that smug half-smile glued to his face. Relax, we needed it more than you. I blinked, my thumb hovering over the refresh button on my banking app. I had already hit it 3 times. It still showed the same number, $47.87. That could not be right. Yesterday, I had over $14,000. $14,000. You what? My voice cracked a little. Sarah. My sister let out a laugh from the couch. She looked completely unbothered, legs curled under her, sipping wine like this was just another episode of Family Game Night. Oh, do not be so dramatic, she said. It is not like we stole it. We are family. You drained my account. It is not draining if we are going to pay it back, Seth added with a shrug. Eventually my mouth opened, but no sound came out. I looked at Mom sitting across the room with her knitting. She did not even glance up. Mom, I said louder, did you know about this? She sighed, like I just accused her of ruining dinner. Sweetheart, you are always so sensitive. You have a good job, no mortgage, no kids. You live alone. You are fine. So that justifies stealing from me. Language, Mason Dad muttered without looking up from his phone. I turned to Sarah. How did you even get access? You left your info on the family computer? She said, unapologetic. Maybe next time do not log in and walk away. Honestly, it is your own fault. My own. I stopped myself. My fingers curled into fists. My breathing had gone shallow. You are making this a bigger deal than it needs to be, Seth said. It is not like we wasted it on nonsense. We paid rent, bought groceries, survived. You did not ask. We did not think we had to, Sarah snapped. You have been paying for stuff for years. What is the difference if it comes through you or from you? I picked up my bag slowly. No one moved. No one apologized. No one even looked surprised. You are leaving already, Mom asked. Yep, I said, zipping my coat. But do not worry, I will be in touch. Do not be like that. Sarah rolled her eyes. We needed it more than you. That is just facts. I reached for the doorknob, paused. Then you will not mind what is coming next. They laughed, but outside something had already started. You always helped. That is what you are for, right? Hey, you okay? It was my cousin Jen catching up to me outside as I marched to my car, fist clenched and jaw locked. No, I muttered, yanking open the door. I heard what Sarah said, she added carefully. That was not right. I did not answer because if I spoke, I would scream. The thing is, this was not the first time. For years, I have been the responsible one, the one with the stable job, the one who did not need help. So somehow that made me the family wallet. It started small. Sarah forgot to pay her phone bill once. I covered it. Then Seth lost his job and asked to borrow a little something to get through the month. Then there was a birthday gift for their daughter. I offered to pay for, except I did not. They just assumed I would. And every time they made it sound like I owed it to them. You are lucky, Mason, Mom would say, her voice sweet but sharp underneath. You do not have the struggles your sister does. God gave you ease so you could share it. Family means supporting each other. Dad chimed in more than once. You would not be here if it were not for us. Translation. We gave you life now, give us your paycheck. I never asked for anything. Not when I was laid off for 6 months and lived off rice and eggs. Not when I skipped vacations for 3 straight years just to rebuild my savings. Not even when I helped pay off Sarah and Seth's credit card debt 2 years ago. They never paid me back. They never even said thank you. You are still coming to the family reunion, Sarah had asked last week. Yeah, I replied. Should I bring something? Her answer came quick. Just bring yourself and your card. I thought it was a joke. Now I know it was not. 2 days after the incident, Sarah called me. I did not answer. She called again and again. Then Seth texted, just call her man. She is freaking out. I finally picked up on the 5th try. Mason? She started, her voice low, shaky. We have a problem. Oh, we do. Look, do not be like that. Something happened. I stayed silent. She continued. The power company came today. We are behind on the bill, like way behind, and they are threatening to shut it off if we do not pay by Monday. So she paused. So we need your help. I laughed, a short, bitter sound. You drained my savings and now you are asking for more. It was not just for us, she snapped. We used some of it to help Mom and Dad too. Dad's car broke down last month, remember? I was not told because you always say no when it is not an emergency. Sarah, I said flatly. This is not just messed up, it is criminal. You are being dramatic. It is family. You did not ask me. We did not think you would mind. You have always helped. That is what you are for, right? There it was. That is what you are for. That night, I could not sleep. I lay awake going over every moment from the past 5 years. The favors, the small transfers, the way Mom always said, you are the strong one, the way Sarah rolled her eyes if I hesitated for even a second. They never saw me as a brother, a son, a person, just a resource. 3 days later, Mom called. We need to talk. She did not ask how I was. She did not ask about my job. She did not even ask about the missing money. We are planning a family dinner, just us. Come over tonight. My stomach dropped. What is this really about, Mason? She said, her voice low. You have caused a lot of tension. I caused tension. Still I went. Part of me wanted answers. The other part wanted to see if they would even bother pretending to be sorry. They did not. When I walked in, Sarah was already there, arms crossed. Seth sat beside her looking bored. Mom was in the kitchen, Dad flipping through the mail like nothing had happened. So Sarah started as I sat down. Are we going to act like adults or what? Depends, I said. You are ready to confess to felony theft. She scoffed. God, you are so extra. It was not theft. It was family money. You always help. We needed it. Seth nodded. You can spare it, so why the drama? I did not give permission. You did not say no either because I did not know. Details, Sarah muttered. I turned to Mom. And you are just okay with this? She looked away. We all agreed. You have always been the one who could handle it. No one even thought to ask. We trusted you, Dad chimed in. Trusted you to do what is right. I stood up. And what is right? Letting you steal from me while smiling to my face. Stop saying steal, Sarah shouted. It was for the family. Then you will not mind when the family deals with the consequences. What does that mean? Seth narrowed his eyes. I did not answer. Not yet. You do not get to cry now. When I stepped inside the house, everyone was already there. Mom was setting the table, clinking plates louder than necessary. Dad sat on the couch flipping channels like this was a normal Thursday night. Sarah stood by the window with her arms folded, jaw tight. Seth lounged at the end of the table like he was about to watch a game, not face the consequence of draining someone's life savings. Well, look who showed up, Sarah said dry. I dropped my bag near the door without a word. Let us just get this over with, I muttered. Good. Seth grinned. Maybe we can finally stop pretending you were robbed. I was robbed. I sat down. That was the cue. Mom cleared her throat. Mason, we know you are upset, but you have to understand. We were struggling. We did not have any other options. Sarah and Seth, they were drowning. And you, Dad added. You have always been the stable one. We knew we could count on you. You did not ask, I said, voice cold. You took. That is not family. That is theft. Sarah rolled her eyes. You are being so dramatic. We did not spend it on crap. We used it where it mattered. No. I reached into my bag, pulled out a printed spreadsheet, and slammed it on the table. $1,472 on makeup, $900 on takeout, $2,300 to pay off your car loan. Seth did not think I would check. Seth leaned forward, face dark. You went through our accounts. Oh, I did more than that. I opened my laptop. The screen lit up with a neat color-coded breakdown. Every charge, every transfer, all traceable. I compiled every transaction. I filed a fraud report, and guess what? They got back to me. Sarah's eyes widened. You did not. I did. You called the police, she shrieked. I turned to Mom. Still think this is just family business. This is insane, Dad snapped. You want to put your own sister in jail. You put yourself there. Then came the knock. 3 hard, heavy pounds against the door. Sarah went pale. Seth stood up too fast. Mom gasped and backed away. Dad froze. Open up, a voice shouted. Financial Crimes Unit, knock, knock, knock. Seth turned to me, voice low. Mason, tell me you are not serious. I opened the door. 3 agents stepped in jackets marked with bold letters. One carried a clipboard. The second is a tablet. The third surveyed the room. You Mason Carver? Yes. Thank you for your cooperation. We will take it from here. Mom covered her mouth. Sarah dropped into a chair like her legs gave out. Seth stood there, dumbstruck. One of the agents turned toward them. You are listed as parties of interest in an open case of financial fraud and identity theft. Identity theft, Mom cried. Heck, our son. The agent did not blink. Family ties do not make an illegal activity legal, ma'am. We did not steal anything, Sarah cried. We had a right. He always helped us. He always. Thinking you are entitled to someone's money does not make it yours, another agent said calmly. Remain seated, please. I just stood back and watched. For the first time in my life, they did not talk over me, did not mock me, did not laugh. Mom turned to me, voice-shaking eyes already filled with tears. Mason, please, we did not mean to hurt you. We were just desperate. You have always been the strong one. You are the only one we could count on. I looked her dead in the eyes. You do not get to cry now. She covered her mouth and sobbed. Sarah tried to say something, but no words came. Seth looked ready to bolt, but sat down under the agent's stare. You want to talk about what family is, I said, stepping forward. It is trust. It is respect. It is asking, not assuming, not stealing, not laughing while you bleed me dry. They said nothing. I grabbed my bag from the floor and turned to the lead agent. I will be outside. And this time, they did not stop me. You are free now, Mason. Do not go back. I left the house in silence. No one chased me. No one called my name. For once, there was no guilt, no drama, no Sarah shrieking after me with her usual "how could you?" Just the cold night air and the sound of tires crunching behind me as the investigators escorted them out one by one. I did not stay to watch. That night, I drove without a destination past closed coffee shops and glowing gas stations. My phone buzzing non-stop in the passenger seat. I did not answer a single call. I did not want to hear apologies shaped like excuses. By midnight, I ended up parked outside the only place that had ever felt like a safe harbor, my grandmother's old house. She had passed a few years ago, but I still had the key. She used to say, if they ever turn on you, Mason, you come here. The door will always open for you. And that night, it did. I slept for 11 hours straight. No texts, no guilt, no tension pressing down on my chest like it always did when I stayed near my family. When I woke up, I made coffee in a chipped mug and stood at the window watching the sun crawl over the fence she used to garden behind. For the first time in years, I felt like I could breathe. But the silence did not last. The first email came that afternoon from Dad. This has gone too far. You have humiliated the entire family. What happened to loyalty? I did not reply. Then Sarah texted, I hope you are happy. They are freezing my accounts. Seth's being investigated at work. You ruined our lives over a couple of payments. A couple. Try tens of thousands of dollars. Try 5 years of silent sacrifice. Then came Mom, a voicemail, her voice soft cracking. You did not have to do it this way. We could have handled it like a family. Mason, sweetheart, please. They threatening charges. They said we might lose the house. I replayed that line in my head. They might lose the house. And suddenly, I was not angry. I was not vindictive. I just did not care. Because I had already lost a home years ago when they decided I was worth more as a bank account than a son. 2 days passed. Then a message popped up from someone I did not expect, Seth's brother. We were not close. Maybe said 5 words to each other at birthdays. But his text was simple. Just so you know, Sarah's trying to shift blame on you. Says you knew and approved the money transfers. There is a lawyer involved. Watch your back. I almost laughed. Even now, even with everything crumbling, she was still trying to spin it. That night, I called my lawyer. Send everything I said. We are not just pressing charges. I want a restraining order too. But not every message was hostile. A week later, I got a short email from Kelly, Seth's sister. I know we have not spoken in years, but I just wanted to say you were right about all of it, about how they treat you, about how toxic it has gotten. I used to think you were just cold. Now I think you were brave. I stared at her message for a long time. Brave. No one in my family had ever used that word on me. One morning, my phone rang again. Unknown number. I almost declined it, but something told me to pick up. Mason, the voice was small, hoarse. It is Sarah. I did not say anything. She kept talking. Look, I know I messed up, okay? I went too far. I did not think it would go like this. Seth's been suspended. Mom will not stop crying. Dad will not even speak to me. And you, she hesitated. You always had the power to ruin everything, and you finally did. I did not speak for a moment. Then I said flatly, I did not ruin anything. I just stopped letting you walk over me. Silence. Then can you just stop it now? Drop the charges, please. I will do anything. Just make it stop. I almost felt something. Almost. But then I remembered what she had said the night of the reunion. We needed it more than you. I smiled bitterly. No, I said, you made this mess. You live in it. And I hung up. That night, I cooked myself dinner in peace, played my favorite album from college, sat on the porch with a mug of coffee, and watched the world go by. And for the first time since I was a teenager, no one asked me for money. No one guilt-tripped me. No one made me feel like I was only valuable if I was giving something. I was not their wallet anymore. I was just me. And that was enough. I am not your bank. I am not your backup plan. I am done. It is strange how quiet peace is. No one tells you that. You imagine it will feel like fireworks or loud music or some grand celebration, but for me, peace sounded like no one asking me for money, no one calling me selfish, no one sending long texts with, since you are the only one doing well. Just silence. Glorious, uninterrupted silence. 3 months have passed since the night I blew everything up. 3 months since the investigation started, since my family stared at me in shock as agents walked through their front door and reality finally punched through years of delusion. They say you cannot choose your family. Maybe that is true, but you can choose how much of yourself you are willing to lose trying to keep them happy. And I was done losing. The fallout came fast. Sarah and Seth tried damage control first. A lawyer emailed my attorney offering to privately resolve the situation. No apology, no ownership, just damage control. I told my lawyer let it burn. A week later, Mom sent a letter, 10 pages, her handwriting still neat but trembling in parts. She wrote about how things got out of hand, how they never meant to hurt me, how she hoped I could see the bigger picture. We just assumed you would always be there, she wrote. That is what good sons do. That line stuck with me because it said everything. Not we were wrong. Not you did not deserve that. Just you were supposed to stay quiet and keep giving. I did not write back. I did not call. And for the first time in my life, I did not feel guilty about it. I moved new apartment, new state. No more accidental drop-ins from relatives. No more surprise visits from Sarah. I even changed my number. My boss, noticing how focused I had become, offered me a promotion. I took it. It is funny how much better you perform at work when you are not secretly juggling your sister's car payments and your mom's overdue utility bills behind the scenes. I sleep better now. I eat better. I breathe better. Because I am no longer carrying 4 people on my back who refuse to say thank you. Then one morning a letter showed up. No return address. Inside a check for $1,200 and a handwritten note. I left him. You were right, I was scared. But watching what you did, it gave me the courage to walk away too. This is for everything you paid for Ellie, for the tablet, the rent, the clothes. I know Seth never thanked you, but I am. Thank you for being the example I needed. Kelly. I read it twice. Then I cried. Not out of sadness, not out of pain, but because for the first time, someone in that family saw me not as a wallet, not as a scapegoat, but as a person. People ask me sometimes, do you regret it? And the answer is simple. No. I regret waiting so long. I regret every sleepless night, every canceled vacation, every tight budget I lived under while they dined out, shopped, and posted about grateful family vibes on Instagram. I regret the way I made myself small so they could feel big. I regret all the times I stayed silent when I should have said you are crossing a line. But do I regret standing up, burning it down? Never. My therapist once asked me, why did it take you so long to say no? And I said because I thought that saying no meant I did not love them. She nodded and said, saying no is how you teach people to love you back. I have never forgotten that. A few days ago, I ran into someone from high school. She said, hey, I saw what happened with your family. That is wild. I expected judgment or pity, but instead she smiled and added, good for you. Most people never get out. I thanked her. Then I walked away feeling a little taller. Sarah and Seth are still under investigation. Last I heard, Seth lost his job. Sarah's bank account was frozen. Mom's trying to refinance the house. And Dad's apparently blaming outside influence for tearing the family apart. They still do not get it. I did not tear anything apart. I just stopped pretending the pieces were still whole. Sometimes I get flashbacks. That night at the table, Sarah laughing as I checked my account. Seth grinning like it was a joke. Mom brushing it off. You do not need that money, she said. And now they know the truth. That money was not just money. It was my life, my time, my health, my boundaries. And they crossed them for years like it meant nothing. Now they pay the price. I do not celebrate their downfall, but I celebrate myself for surviving it, for walking away, for not going back, even when the silence felt lonely, even when the guilt whispered in my ear like it used to. Because that silence, it is freedom. So if you are reading this, and you have been the strong one, the responsible one, the good son or good daughter who is expected to pay and never say a word, let me tell you what I wish someone told me. You do not have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. You are allowed to stop. You are allowed to walk away. And when you do not lose a family. You find yourself.